Swimming coach Eugene Du Ponte said he's humbled how the 11-year journey with Lara Van Niekerk is starting to bear fruit and medals. The pair have been together since Van Niekerk was 8 years old, and they're now preparing to medal at the upcoming Commonwealth Games in Birmingham after the swimmer won a bronze medal in the women's 50-meter breaststroke at the World Championships in Hungary. She landed in South Africa earlier today.
So as you know that South Africa has only bagged one medal at the FINA World Championships taking place in Budapest, and that medal was won by Lara Van Niekerk, and I'm standing right now with her coach. They've just touched down at OR Tambo, and Eugene, what a wonderful trip you guys had, and a medal. Were you guys looking forward for a medal?
Yeah, look, the plan was always to try and see if we can sneak a medal in. Being the first big international gala for Lara, it was always going to be a little bit difficult. We haven't really had that exposure yet, but we just spent 6 weeks in Europe. We spent a week on the Mare Nostrum tour, and then we did a 2.5-week training camp before the World Champs just to try and get her ready, so she could be a little bit more at ease with competing against that class of athlete and that class of swimmer. And it worked in the end of the day, and we were able to put up some good performances and came away sneaking that medal on the last day.
But you guys have been a tag team for the longest time, apparently over 11 years. Take us through it.
Yes, so Lara's been with me since she's 8 years old. We've worked very well together over the years. We understand each other very well. She understands what I expect from her. I don't really have to ever repeat myself or anything like that, which is a very good thing for a coach. She works well within the program that we've got, and I don't really have issues with her when it comes to anything to do with her swimming training and what's required of her. She's willing to make the big sacrifices that swimmers at this level unfortunately have to be willing to make, and she trains really hard, and when it comes down to it, it comes down to what you do in your training pool, and she works really hard when it comes to her training.
And being a former swimmer yourself, does it make it easier to be able to communicate and make those demands?
I don't think so. I think it actually makes it a little bit more difficult. Having been there myself and knowing how difficult it is, on a Friday night when your friends are all going out to the movies or to have dinner, and you've got to get in bed early because you've got to go out the next morning. It's not the easiest thing for a teenager. So, those demands are quite strict and everything, and I think because I've been there and I have an idea of what it actually takes, I tend to be a bit more strict. So, in that sense, it's probably not the best thing, but she's had an older sister that swam ahead of her, and, a lot of the hard lessons her older sister learned for her. So, as a family group, they've learned early on, how to make the right sacrifices, eat correctly, attend training, do what needs to be done at home, rest when you need to rest. So, I think as a unit, as a group, myself, the family, and Lara all together, we work well together. And I think behind any successful athlete, you need that group cohesion. Just like she needs all her teammates that train with her every day to help her get through those hard training sessions. So it's everyone working together that contribute towards the successes.
And were you able to tick all the boxes that you wanted to tick, especially heading into the Commonwealth Games?
I got through most of what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, just after we had trials, when we came back and started training, Lara came down with appendicitis, so we actually had to book her in and get her appendix removed right when we were supposed to be in hard training, which kind of threw the timeline out a little bit. So we had to rearrange things a little bit in terms of what we actually wanted to do while we were overseas now, and adjust the training schedule slightly. But for the most part, I think we got what we wanted out of the trip, and we were able to get that experience, which is the most important thing. And now from tomorrow, it's back to hard training and trying to get ready for Commonwealth Games.
Are you looking to peak by the end of July, mid-August?
Yeah, so Commonwealth Games is the big one for this year. We're looking to see if we can peak by then, and go there and have a really good competition. This was for the experience. That's to go and get some good times under the belt, and then when we get home within about 2 weeks, we've actually got our South African short course trials for World Short Course at the end of the year.